What about active focus? Was it hard to find, easy to find? What did you do to get to
Hard,
that? Yeah.
hard. I'm still weirdly and happily surprised when it happens, but I read through a lot of the people, or I watched or listened, I don't know what it was, and some people seem to have an easier time of it. I'm not one of them. Well, by evidence, great results, but the active focus is challenging from a conscious standpoint.
Yeah, I mean,
I
you
don't,
must be doing some of it instinctively, or at least in part that you had. I mean, you made a lot of progress over a relatively short period of time. So
yeah. Is there a tip or a, because remind me, it seems to me when it's either happens first thing in the morning when I'm just getting up, great light, good sunny day, or once in a while, almost only in sunny days and when I'm outside. And I'm like, I use license plates a lot as my test
mhm.
because I can, there's enough of a distinction. Our plates here are white with blue. Most of them are white and blue. And so I can see them relatively easy. I can get a distance from them. They're big, but not too big, but big enough. Stop signs and stuff, I know what they are. The license plate, I don't know what it is. So it means I actually have to look at it and think, can I read that?
Different degrees. For people who always had good vision have this by default. The ability to just go, okay, you're at a coffee shop and the menu is behind the barista up on the wall, and it's not that clear because it's a little bit far and it's dark in there, and you blink at it and it clears up. Most everybody I've talked to who just has good eyesight and has never worn glasses has that ability. So I think it's innate in us somewhere. And it's not necessarily getting something that's completely blurry into complete clarity. It's just any amount of change in blurriness. The thing is completely blurry, now I can barely read it. That works. Or it's almost clear, and now that I'm reading the text on the screen, it's a little bit more clear. It's just
Okay.
any degree of change in clarity without you changing the distance or the lighting.
Okay, well then you're right. I guess maybe I just was misunderstanding the term a little bit. Yeah, because the coffee shop thing or a signage thing, sometimes I'll have to stop. You're right. I will stop. I mean, this is how I'm using the material. I will use it as an exercise
Yeah,
at
and that's
almost
fine.
any time. And I think that may be the benefit of how my eyes are improving because I am doing that.
Yeah, and everybody has a different practice of it. For example, myself, I spend a fair amount of time on screens. I just try to keep myself back far enough to where the letters are a little bit out of focus or not aligned properly. And then as I'm looking at it, things clear up a little bit. I just have the habit of I try to sit this way instead of hunching forward, which eventually I will do, especially if I'm looking at charts or details that is really, even though I can see it fine, it's quicker and easier if you're closer, right? Like people do that who have perfectly normal vision too. And that just becomes a reminder of sit ergonomically comfortable and be in a position. Like I have to wear plus lenses for this, and I don't do it all the time, unfortunately. But that's a general range, right? Or you're outside and you're doing the license plates. Going from completely blurry to completely clear isn't necessary. And a different term, I refer to it as clear flash because I don't really, there isn't an established term that existed that I could find otherwise, which is something that's completely blurry, completely clears up. That's not something to be expected.
Yeah. So that adjustment, yes, then now that I'm rethinking it, I'm not paying as close attention, but I am doing it and I'm testing it out because when I'm outside, I will deliberately, if going for a walk on a sunny day, I will deliberately take my glasses off, and particularly now when they're only -1s. And then I'll get to wherever I'm going and I won't put them on unless I have to do something. Like I'm experimenting to see, like I said, I'm wandering around in the morning and then thinking, oh yeah, you're on your way out, you better get your glasses. Still makes me laugh. I love it.
Yeah, and that's a good practice in general because at the -1 level, especially for most people, there's no huge benefit to going to 0.75 and half diopter. Just keeping the -1 and doing what you're doing, wear them when you want them or need them, and don't when you don't. Because what
Okay.
you'll find is you'll wear them more of the time now, but maybe in 6 months you'll wear them only seldomly. It just becomes a wear them when you feel the need for them, right? And not
Yeah.
to where you're getting used to blur, but you notice that in good daylight you don't need them, and in various circumstances you don't need them, and then it just becomes this on and off habit that eventually just turns into off because there's no more need for them.
Yeah, well, it's like, where are they?
The full episode of the Short-Sighted podcast and lots more episodes are available in the Back to 2020 member section, along with hundreds of pro topic videos I made over the years, lots of guides, access to a community forum with over 90,000 monthly member visits, and tons more resources in Back to 2020.